Hey Chi, I'm just taking a look at your stuff this week. Man, it's so nice to see you putting in this detail and stuff, and these drawings feel like a lot more solid and everything. And like, I'm really impressed with how great your line work is and how great this all looks, like how solid it is. I do have a couple suggestions. It's not going to be a ton of stuff this week because I feel like it's just good progress. But my suggestions, again, I'm sorry, but I have a suggestion about this intro part because when this character starts speaking, and I hope I'm correct in that this is the character that's starting to speak first.
Microwave steak tastes like rubber though.
Microwave steaks taste like rubber though.
Microwave?
Which we start speaking around here, right? Which is great. But it would be nice to have a tiny head adjustment out of this character so it draws the audience's eyes over to who's talking, right? Because right now, even if it was just phoneme shapes and mouse shapes, I think it would be a little hard for the audience to understand. Because it's going to be like the first time they're hearing the voice and stuff like this. So maybe, if you don't want to redo this head angle here and all of this stuff, it could be like just a tiny thing where I don't know where you would want the initial head angle to be. You know what I mean? It could just be as simple as like a tilt this way. And I'm sorry I didn't catch this earlier, if it wasn't there earlier. You know, it could be just like a little, they go from like this to how you have it by here, which is more like this, or the other option, you know, and of course we'd want to support this with the neck to not have it just be a head move. And then of course it would be even nicer. I don't know what kind of freedom you have in the software you're using to do like little adjusts on stuff like this, you know what I mean? To do just like a little something to get from here to where you're at here. And that's like a little bit, it's not a super redo, but maybe as we get into it, but just a little adjust to let the audience know who's talking. Like maybe here they're thinking, or they know that what they're about to say is going to be a little controversial or unpopular with who their audiences is, but we come into it and they're thinking about saying it, and then when they're here, they've decided, okay, I'm going to deliver this message even though it's not going to be something that they want to hear, you know, something like that. And you know, if you're really feeling ambitious, you could even have like a little adjust over towards the male figure, you know what I mean, to start delivering that line. But what that's going to do is it's really going to help your audience know who's speaking and focus their eyes exactly where you want it when the shot starts.
Microwave steak tastes like rubber though. What?
But I really like this blink and this look over here, so I'm not sure how to resolve that note with what you already have. But the concept is what matters, you know what I mean? Anyways,
Tastes like rubber though. What?
this move is nice here. They really come to a quick halt between here and here. You know what I mean? So it might be nice to get one more in between in here, and I know I'm going to be zooming way in. Where do I adjust my brush size? Here. You know, we have this here, and it goes to this here. Maybe you just need one more in between there to make this landing feel slightly softer. That's up to you. So this is where we would be landing. So then this one I'm suggesting, take it or leave it, but you do something where it's like, it's really like almost there, so you'd have to like in between, how do I onion skin in this thing? That's not something I've had to ask myself before. where it actually shows the drawings, not just my drawings, but your drawings, so I don't have to trace over everything. Well, maybe I have to just trace over everything. Let me try to that, see if it works. So what I want to do here is track where the nose is, the eyes, this hair, and I'm sure you can figure out this drawing on your own. It's not like I'm telling you this is what the drawing should look like. I'm just trying to like illustrate stuff. It looks like you know what you're doing in 2D for sure, which is cool. That's really makes me happy. I love 2D and I miss it. So now when I turn on this, right, so yeah, maybe the nose would be like around here. It's always awkward when you get in some of these positions where like you're turning from like a 3/4 to a 2/4. But I think I won't waste time doing a bunch of this stuff, but you'll know what I mean. It will just be like a tiny, an additional ease out that's favoring your final drawing much more than it's favoring the one that comes before it. So it reads as like an ease out. Just to soften this landing. I won't do that too much more. I feel like you probably know what I mean. Anyways. So here she turns to look at him, and I want to see what motivates that.
What? I mean, they taste like rubber though. What?
It's probably the what, but the what in your audio is coming much sooner than the drawings would imply. Yeah, that's a nice in-between between those two. Like I like how she comes to a smoother stop there. That feels nice.
What?
Yeah, so that's probably the what.
We do have instant ramen. No.
And he's suggesting they have instant ramen.
I mean, we do have instant ramen. No.
I don't know how you feel about it. So take it or leave it. If this isn't an idea that you're on board with, I won't be offended or anything. But when he says, we do have instant ramen.
I mean, we do have instant.
Maybe like on we do, you get just like a hint of a shoulder shrug. You know what I mean? Like, we could always do instant ramen, right? Instead of the rubber steaks, or instead of the microwave steaks. You know, being like, I don't know how you feel about that acting choice, so leave it if you're not interested in it. But it might be a nice thing to do in this section here, because the character comes over to this kind of pose and this attitude, and there's not a lot going on. You know what I mean?
What? I mean, we do have instant ramen. No. Refrigerated steaks. No. Refrigerated steaks are even.
This is all great. I like the spacing on that stuff.
We do have instant ramen. No.
As you get in there, though, maybe when this character on the left comes over here with the head, when they start coming back, maybe you can drag the top of the head a little bit. You know what I mean? Like the body starts to recover a bit before the head fully recovers. You know what I'm trying to say? Because they come over here, and the head kind of comes back in lockstep with the body, and maybe you need to do it a little bit here, and you can see it in your reference a little bit, how the head here is dragging a little bit behind the body, and then it only catches up and starts going forward like partway through that move. So I feel like I'm missing that a little bit from your roughs here. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we need this angle for a little bit longer you know, and like in between out of it. Maybe here is where we start to come over. Something like that. It's just something to keep an eye on or think about as you're moving forward with this.
No. Refrigerator steaks are even...
Because when I watch the head, I feel like it should have a little bit more looseness to it.
No.
Yeah. So we're going here, but then when we reach over here, we kind of lose all of the momentum this way out of the head. And I'm okay with the body losing the momentum, but if you loosen up that head, it's going to feel like a little bit nicer.
No.
And then you're really going to have to pay attention to your spacing when changing directions, like especially in the body, you know, like here we're here on the shoulder, but we could also track it here, like on the torso. Like this is nice. We need like a slowdown in order to change our direction. This is a really big move. And I'm not saying like, you know, you're probably planning on putting drawings between there, of course, but to go from here, maybe I don't even need ghosting hunt for this, to here is pretty big. So the first, we definitely need like a key, and I don't know if it goes here or sooner, like closer in to where this apex is, you know. Because this feels like where it was. So we probably need a drawing here, and another one here before we get here. You know what I mean? To like get, because this is a big mass, like, right? Like this is their ribs and their lungs and heart and everything else. This is gonna take a little bit of time to like come to a rest in reverse direction. So watch your spacing when you move forward there. And the same is true kind of like how long it's going to take them to come out of that move. Like they're going to need longer to slow down. Which you have that going on here. But when you play it, just make sure...
Steaks are even trying, no?
Yeah, that's great. You're doing it on that end.
Refrigerator steaks are even trying, no? You made too much food.
Yeah, cool. So one thing I think I want to see that I'm not sure is in your blocking here is on the you make too much food. There should be some kind of something from this character to change their posture a little bit to emphasize that line. And I don't know what that is. It could be a million different acting choices. You know what I mean? It could be like this arm coming up and saying like, hey, you know what I mean? You make too much food. Or it could be like, you know, even just something as small as a tilt of the head would help. Kind of emphasize it, or maybe both of those things, or maybe just a tiny little, you know, maybe if you didn't want to do this shoulder shrug earlier, maybe this is a good spot for a shoulder shrug. Like I've told you this before, you know what I mean? I don't know, but something to punctuate that line.
I'm trying, no? You made too much food. Trying, no? Thanks, I've been trying, no? You made too much food.
Yeah, but that's it. It's not a huge amount of stuff. I think that it's coming along great. It was so nice to see all this.
Tastes like rubber, though. What?
This stuff being done, this looks really great. This looks really like professional. You know, so this is all fantastic. So yeah, keep up the great work. I can't wait to see this move forward. I think you're really doing really strong work. So yeah, these are all like little suggestions and stuff. I feel like they're little tweaks. Hopefully they don't you know, get you off your track, because if you keep going at this rate, I think we're gonna have a really strong thing by the end of class. So great work. Look forward to seeing it next week.